common misconception is that if you're a church-going person, then you're on the good side of life, right? Or even further, we think that most people who are in a church most likely have a certain set of morality that we can just assume is safe. A lot of times, though, just because you're a church-going person does not mean that you have the right morality, or that you're even there for the right reasons to begin with. We think, oh, well, we're in church. People here have have a heart that's aimed toward God. They have the right kind of heart. That's just not true. Not always the case. And the whole reason that we have the majority of the New Testament is actually to correct people who go into church with the wrong heart, the wrong desires, the wrong aim. In 1 Timothy, Paul addresses this aim. What's our aim versus what are people doing in the church? If we look in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 5 through 7, Paul addresses this concern of his. He says, "But the goal of our instruction is love, from a pure heart and a good conscience and a sincere faith. For some men, straying from these things, have turned aside to fruitless discussion, wanting to be teachers of the law, even though they do not understand either what they are saying or the matters about which they make confident assertions." You see what's going on here? Paul is saying, we aim to love, but a large majority of your congregation, your people, Timothy, their only aim is fruitless discussion. The New King James calls it idle talk. Idle means effortless. It means pointless. It means no effect. It means that they have discussions and they have talks and they talk about things that are of no benefit to anybody. And these are the people who want to be teachers within the church. But Paul tells Timothy, he says, our goal is Christ-following, God-fearing, Bible-believing, believing that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. Our goal as those kinds of people is to love from a pure heart and a good conscience and a sincere faith. That's an authentic kind of love he's talking about. That's the kind of love that Jesus Christ showed us in his life and also on the cross, through his death and then through his resurrection, through his promise to eternal life that he gives to each of his believers, to each of his followers. That kind of love, that's authentic love. That's the goal of Christians, real, true, Bible-believing, Christ-following, God-fearing people. That's our goal, is to love from a good heart, a good conscience, and a sincere faith. But our church, not TBC in general, not TBC specifically, but churches in general often have many of what Paul is talking about in here. People who just want to talk. People who want to talk about foolish things, pointless things. They just want to be the one up there talking. How many people in your church are those people? Don't think of them specifically, but rather generally thinking, how many in the church only want to talk? Do you see more people pursuing a life that is led by love from a pure heart? Or do you see more people living a life that is led by discussion, or not discussion, but rather the desire to be seen talking? Idle talk, good talk, fruitful talk is a good thing. We have discussions in the church all the time that benefit us, and we grow from them in our faith. But there is such a thing as idle talk. Discussions that produce nothing. They have no effect for us. No good effect. Only negative. These are the kinds of people that Paul's warned Timothy about. Not because all people in the church are bad, but rather because some of them are. Just because someone's a church-going person doesn't mean that they have a good heart or the right intentions. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that they've got the wrong aim. They need to be shown the love of Christ just like anyone else. The people that Paul is talking about here, those who have idle talk, we need to not be like those people. But even those people that we see in our church who are like that, we need to show them the love of Jesus Christ. We need to show them that we are aiming for the kind of aim that Paul is talking about here. Authentic love. The kind of love that lays down one's life for someone else. That's the kind of love Jesus brought us. That's the kind of love we aim for. So we're left with a few questions. How do I love like this? Am I loving like this? And do I see the majority of my church loving like this? Or is the majority of my church pursuing idol talk?